Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'll be discussing my research work, Module 1 for STS, and these are my three items. The first item is the calculator. The reason I bought this calculator is it allows me to do math easily when I'm having some troubles in school, or if my parents ask me to measure this and that. Calculator can solve these problems. Um, One interesting fact about this calculator is that it has different functions that generic calculators cannot do. Because what I'm holding right now is a scientific calculator, which can show graphs, or like not show graphs, but like shows tables on how to compute stuff, or if you want to list them down, or like if you want to add up a lot of equations, it can do that. And it helps people to, or like it transfer like it helps more people to answer more questions than usual. And yeah, question.
Okay, so how can a calculator help you as an architecture student?
This helps me through when I'm first of all, I design a building, right? And like it depends also on the client too, because usually as an architect or as an architect student, art profs help us train to be more professional, or like, and like gives us examples of how the customer would want to design their house, and like what the specific measurements are. So we needed those specific measurements to calculate those to build their exact dream house. And with this calculator, it could help me like show any graphing solutions, or like list.
Next question. Are you aware of like current modern TI-84 graphing calculators? And if you are aware of them, would you think about getting one?
I think most of this calculator in this generation right now are like the same, but there are like more, like just like you said, like the TI-84 is way more advanced. So I think it's like more kind of like an engineer type kind of calculator, because it has this um, graphing illustration that I think some artists or like engineer needs to use it for school purposes or like business purposes to know the exact measurements of what they're doing. Alright, so the next item is Ford Everest, the car. And the reason for the community level, people nowadays use cars because it's easier for transportation. And like whenever like you are um whenever you're like in a hurry of like going to school, or like going to your work, car is super efficient, because it really helps you like transport faster and stuff. What Before this, people use horses before, or like carriage to use for transportations, but it's much slower than cars because they use actually living organisms to do it.
For the first question, what are some safety features that cars have?
Okay, so some I'll just name some of them, but like I guess one of them is like there's this called brake, where you there's this function like brake, where in a situation if there's like traffic, or like if there's like a sudden stop, or of like an accident, brake is very useful for like any harmful situations, because it helps you like um stop or use the car properly. If that makes sense, like, or like how to control the car. Because sometimes if without the brake, you won't be able to like control the car by the speed or the control. Yeah.
Okay, for the next question.
So next up, so the Ford Everest, right? It's a gas car, right?
Yes.
So, considering the age that we're in the future, do you think the use of electric cars would be better than gas cars?
I think since the Ford Everest right now is an auto and a manual car, I think electric is like, I think for me electric is like a bit new, so I'm more of like auto and manual because I think it's more beneficial in this in the states we're in the Philippines, like we're in the third world country, so like none of our technologies are that advanced yet than other countries, so I think auto is more useful than electric, which I know that electric cars are still developing here, but we're taking it slow since, you know. Okay, so the last object is a suit, and the reason I bought it is it's very useful for any occasions. For like example, if you going to a party or like going to a debut, it really helps. It really gives you like this high level class, or like gives you or like brings you out the confidence that you bring into the table. Helps you speak more. Helps you talk more to people confidently, and like before uh before suits, in the national level Philippines, they use barongs as for like occasion or like any business. I think until now they still use it, but rarely. Mostly now they use suits for more formal attire, or like.
Okay, so for our first question, what is the difference between a tuxedo and a suit?
Okay, so a tuxedo, the difference between tuxedo and a suit is, okay, so we all know that tuxedo and a suit are like, they're both formal, but what the difference about it is like tuxedo, they use bows instead of ties, and like for suits, they use ties. For,
When would you say wearing a suit is required?
I think it's best if you're in a business setting or like in an occasion, because it shows a sign of respect when it comes to business meetings or like meeting or like celebrating your friend's debut, and like it's a kind of like a formal way to like show that you have class and like maturity in a high level, that you know what you know the stuff that you're doing, and like it shows that you put a lot of effort into this. And yeah, overall, thank you for listening, and these are my 3 objects for STS Module 1 research work.